Welcome to Two Gents, where two seasoned gents take on the hard truths of life, success, and responsibility. In a world where the rules don't bend for us, these gents believe in doing the work, owning the struggle, and inspiring others to take action. So, pull up a chair.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Two Gents Podcast. I'm just one of your hosts, Ron Spikes. I always say that when I come live on the air by myself, but not everybody participates, has the ability to participate because they have other things going on in their life. I send the word out to Pastor Riggins and Byron Glass, and today is Sunday, so it's kind of like one of those relaxed days, and I appreciate it, and I can only understand. But as I look at what's going on in the world today, as I look at how we're treating each other, as I try to follow what's going on, I'm totally lost. I get to a point where I'm lost. And this is just one of those times where I can truly say that I'm lost, because as I look at our political landscape, I think that politically, our leaders are fighting a battle. They're fighting a battle that we as voters need to understand what type of battle that they're fighting. So, I think that they're doing good on their end. I think that they actually doing the best. I got my telephone, so I'm gonna look down every once in a while. But I think that they're doing the best that they can with what they got. And they have some people that's what we call that are stepping out of line with what their objective was. And I can understand that. I mean, we all human. But here's where I take my difference. Those people can step out of line, but somehow we have to be lock and sync as a people, as a group, as far as trying to get people to move forward in a direction. We can't be separate in the way we approach things. And the real reason why I say that, because it seems like when we're separate in the way that we approach things, we attack one another. We come at each other like we're dogs in a fight. My point is bigger than your point. Your point is bigger than my point. That's not always the case. Sometimes you need to talk to each other and communicate in a way. If it means a telephone call, that's fine. Make the telephone call. Don't do it over these social media airways, because it seems like we're going back in time. We're going back to a time where Jim Crow ruled. It might have been a letter of Jim Crow that he wrote to his people, but it was a letter that told how we would divide, what it would take to divide us in the house, so to speak, what it would take to keep us in line. You got this person turning against that person. I'm not gonna call no names, because it's enough name calling out there. It's enough people out there calling different people's names, and they fighting each other. Here's where it's breaking down to. You got some people that agree with this person. You got some people that agree with that person, and they both everybody on our side that's got a social media channel is chiming in saying this person is wrong, that person is wrong. And if you continue to do that, you're dividing people. We got over 90 million people that did not vote in the last election. And that type of rhetoric that's going on right now, you should be man enough. I remember saying when I grew up, words don't hurt me. Words don't hurt me. I don't care where it's coming from. Those words shouldn't do enough to you to make a difference and have you respond to that person, because you should be a bigger person. And we know where each of y'all came from. Y'all have a national audience in which you can reach out to, but you are doing a disservice to everybody that's listening to you. Because how can you have a national audience that you're reaching out to, but you can't get along together among yourselves? You call each other's names and talking about my facts are better than your facts. You need to learn how to do research. Why don't y'all just learn how to get along? Why don't you just learn how to get along? Because it's too much on the table. It's too much on the plate that you could be talking about. Y'all don't have to be talking about the same subject. I look back in history and what it takes me back is to, and I'm looking at it because I made notes of it, the civil rights movement. Malcolm and MLK wasn't always together. They came together at the end, but Malcolm's approach to what he wanted to do and what Martin Luther King wanted to do is two total different approaches. Martin Luther King suffered within his own ranks because they told him that he was making too much trouble. And this is 2025. And we're not using our voice. We're using our voice to attack each other. Grown men making more money than anybody on this podcast. And I'm going to tell you, me and Byron Glass and Pastor Riggins and myself, we volunteered to do this. Y'all getting big money. No, I'm sorry. But I'm just saying, y'all getting big money to pursue your issues. You give us a voice. You give us a place where we can get our voice out there and we can make our feelings known. Yeah, you entitled to your own opinion. But let's not tear each other down. Let's not pull at the strings to see how much we can pull from each other. You know, I can't go with it. I can't go with it. And I know I just went against what I said I was going to do originally, but I had to do it because I need somebody to listen and understand that we're tearing ourselves apart. We're doing it to ourselves. Sometimes we forget where our fight is. I think we forget what the fight is about. We forget where we came from. If we don't unify everybody out there, doesn't matter what color they are, we're not going to make it in 20. I don't care when the midterm elections roll around. We're not going to be there because we're so divided. And if we divide it now, what are we going to be at that time? And there's people out there with more experience than I ever had. It's people out there that's been doing these podcasts longer than I have. It's very few. But if we don't get our act together, guess what? We're going to fail. It ain't like the election cycle is way off. We didn't have, and let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to kind of go into the reason why I'm here. We went from Charlie Kirk. Oh, we was so upset with our leaders and politicians at that time. Then we came around to the voting on Tuesday, and we was on a high, a blue high, so to speak. Me as an independent, everybody was talking about how great it was because we were winning seats, everything was going on. And then come Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever day it was, the bottom dropped off because 6 or 8 Democrats in the Senate decided that they wasn't going to vote, that they was going to end this. They ended it for themselves because I'm going to tell you something. Normal people, as people that look like me, we were ready to ride it out because you had got us so far. When you get, when we first started in this, yeah, it's hard. But when I get to an appointment, get to a place where I'm adjusted to everything that's going on, I'm kind of accepting. I know where I can go get food at. I know that my relatives are supporting me. I know that the airplanes are slowing down. I know that the air traffic controllers is going to make those other people come to the table. That was taken off the table, period. It was taken off the table, period. So we're at a point where we can discuss all of that I just got through covering, that I just got through talking about. But we rather talk about what one person, he don't know what he's doing. He needs to stay here. He needs to stay in this genre. They need to go here. When he's advising bad information. Let me share this with you. If you're on that level, pick up your telephone and call them. Y'all interact with each other. Y'all go out and I can't meet with either one of y'all. I can't. I'm at a different level. And that doesn't have anything to do with where we're trying to go. But I'm just trying to tell you that if you're on that level, pick up the telephone and call. Pick up the telephone and show unity among our people. Show our youth that we know how to operate as a group. Malcolm X was in the SCLC / NAACP. Malcolm X led the Black Panther Party. You know, this ain't new. It's how they did it that made a difference. I had a picture, and I'm gonna do it like this before I go into this other part, because I want to do it where I give you a reason, not just my voice out here. I want to do it where I give you a reason to actually respect each other, because it ain't just on the top level. It ain't just y'all that can make a difference. It's people all over the country that's trying to do. It's people that's died trying to make a difference among us. So we wouldn't get to this point where y'all got us to. Yeah, you got money. Yeah, you got an audience and everything else. We didn't always have that. But if we get it and we abuse it and we don't respect it, it's no good. It's no good. So we take so much stuff for granted. You know, I don't think there's another race out there that is resilient as we are. I don't think it's another race out there that is resilient as we are. And I say that because it doesn't matter what they have done to us in the past. It doesn't matter where we came from, Africa, or we was here on America being Indians, whether they chased us with the Indian tribe all the way across to the west of the United States. We still are standing today. We still are making a difference in this world. People respect our votes. I'm sorry, comments out there. I didn't look at the comments, but I'm gonna put them on stage where I can see them. D, thanks, D, thanks, Tyrone. I appreciate it. I'm gonna put your comments on the stage real quick. I just want to tell you that it's a time out for all that other stuff that's going on in America. It's time out. You don't see me getting on here. You don't see Glass getting on here. You don't see Pastor Riggins getting on here. You don't see anybody getting on here asking you for a dime. Not one dime. All those other people, they get money. They getting paid by YouTube. They getting paid. Some of them getting paid twice because you donating to their cause. And I ain't calling it out, but I'm gonna let you know. You donating to their cause, and they say, "Oh yeah, you keeping us on the air," but you don't know that they getting paid by YouTube to stay on the air. So they getting two checks. They begging you, and they getting their money from YouTube. So don't sit there and let them fool you. Don't let them tear us apart at their cost, because one person is bigger than another person, and they eating up. They trying to figure out where their money coming from. They are not broke. Just figure it out. Just figure it out. Look at their audience and how many people following them. Look at their audience and how many people following them. YouTube cuts them a check. Facebook cuts them a check. Everybody cuts them a check. But some of them take advantage of that. And I'm going to tell you how they take advantage of it. Because they have you donate to them too. Now, I ain't never heard one of them come up and say, well, I don't take a check from YouTube. I don't take a check from Facebook. I don't do this. But they don't intermingle the two, which you got to do some research and find out for yourself. I'm not calling them out, but I'm just saying, we can't continue to follow them blindly and think that they got our best interests at heart when they fighting among each other. We just can't do it. We just can't do it. Let me just say this. Tyrone, thank you for listening in. Well said, Ron. We may not agree on every subject, but we need to be mature enough to find grounds where we can agree to unite with one another. Let me, you know what? That's the reason why, Tyrone, I'm going to tell you, that's the reason why I'm on the air right now. Because I want them to understand that there's so much that they can unite on. D, you right, facts. So I'm supposed to bring up some facts. There's so much that they can unite on. I went back and I was looking at some of our old videos and stuff out there, and I want to share them with you. And I want them, they do pay attention to what we do over here. Sometimes they take our ideas and they run with them. Me and Byron Glass and Pastor Riggins discuss it all the time. Sometimes their topics are the same thing as ours on different days. So I just want to tell you, because they have producers that come out and they research. So here's something I want your producers to listen to, and I want you to get it right. See, because sometimes people think I'm just out here by myself, and I'm just a little man out here, but I'm not the little man out here. It's people in states that's trying to make a difference.
Enough about people who own Social Security and poor folks with circuit breakers and pink taxes and everything else, when we've had ample opportunity to pass this year after year after year after year, but only until it's attached to something that's going to work for rich folks do we care enough about this. Gross. And then have the audacity to say, oh, if you don't like this, you don't care. Y'all are too strong. We've cared year after year after year after year. Welcome. Thanks for joining us on Caring. No, I don't care about the folks who got to go and buy boats. And you can put that on Facebook. I don't have any of those in my district. No one's sitting at any marble tables over in the 73rd talking about capital gains tax. They are talking about these eggs. They are talking about how they have to use the emergency room for their primary care physician. They do talk about that. They do talk about rolling toilet paper around their drawers because they can't afford tampons and pads. They do talk about that. And if you're offended by that, that's what they talk about in my district, and they're Missourians too. They talk about diapers and all kinds of other stuff. So yeah, we support those things too. Don't sit here and say we don't have common sense and don't care about these people. Don't even go there. Because I've heard a lot about people who are buying 2 and 3 houses. I'm not hearing enough about the woman who have to wrap a towel around her baby's backside to keep them clean and dry. Yeah, that's me sitting on the side gallery crocheting baby boots and socks. When you look at my MEC report, it's me clearing out my campaign donations to go drive Meals on Wheels every Monday. That's what they're talking about in my neck of the woods. And yeah, I stood here until the last 3 of us stood here because it was worth saying out loud. I'm not about to buck dance for the wealthy. I don't bootlick. Those poor people who work those 2 and 3 jobs, I thank the lady for Jackson for talking about me. Because I'm not going to be able to afford a house anytime soon as a millennial in this economy. She was talking about me. So no, it's not just our constituents back in our district that's telling you they need something. I'm telling you I need it now. I don't get to fly into session. I don't plug my car in. I have Walmart greeters in my family in their 60s and 70s. Y'all get to run for office. I have to borrow money to pay my taxes to sign that affidavit when we file for office so that I can run for office and not be lying on it. I have to borrow money for them fancy gold plates we have. So I don't know what a capital gains is about. I don't know that feeling. But I do know what it feels like when your stomach touch your back. That's what they talk about in my district in North St. Louis County, where their representative has to stand on this floor till our feet get raw. We talk about that. So I do appreciate the fact that it's 111 of you that are going to finally give my grandmother, my 84 and 3-day-old grandmother, the opportunity to get a break on her circuit breaker. Thank you. The same 84-year-old who had to work and get paid under the table for taxes. Well, she cleaned white folks' houses. They called her Mary, and she called them by Mr. and Miss. Those are the people I have in my district. I don't have the people who sit up and concern themselves with what boat they get to buy this year and what vacation they get to go on this year. They make bologna sandwiches and fold the bread in half so that they can feed their grandkids when they come from school because they can't afford child care. Those are the conversations we have in my district. So for all the monopoly men on the other side of campus twiddling their rich mustaches and top hats talking about capital gains vacations and what their constituents talk about at their table, I love to be invited for some so I can cosplay wealth. But don't you dare sit here and talk about us on this side of the aisle who filed, the young man, the gentleman from St. Louis, got the first bill he filed was to remove those taxes to help actual people. I can't even swim, as you all probably have guessed, by my skin color. I don't care nothing about no boat. Just pass the bill and stop trying to act like it's us over here when it's been you all the whole time. I'm grateful that these things are on this bill. I'm voting on it, but I'm grateful it's here. That I can get some kind of rebate or some reprieve from tampons while I still have to use them before I have to go get diapers for my age. Thank you.
You know, see, there's people out there fighting like her. There's people out there in the U.S. that's fighting for different stuff. And she said that a while back, but she's out there fighting for normal people, not people that's sitting up on the biggest stage that's out there. These are the people that's suffering. And I want to play these videos in their entirety, and I want you to grab from there what you can, because evidently you are out of touch. My next video, a person that gave their life debating, trying to make things better in this United States of America. And we don't even see that. We wouldn't even see her at this time because we're too worried about
You're absolutely right. And obviously all bets are off. This is a Republican plan. And already many lawsuits have been filed. I am glad that along with my colleague, Congressman Al Green, we stayed united to ensure that the constituents that we represented would be first and foremost in our mind. We were not looking to partisanship or politics. We're focused on representation. And so we went to both the state Senate and the House to speak articulately and firmly to ensure that the constituents were well represented and that they had an opportunity to choose a person of their choice, and also to reflect on the court decisions that said the 9th Congressional District and the historic 18th Congressional District, which I hold, the Barbara Jordan District, was in fact a protected district so that voters who had been deprived before could be able to vote. Now, with those lawsuits and many others being filed, we're still in jeopardy as relates to what the next steps will be. We hope that what will happen is that more people will be able to be represented, including the increased population of people of color and Latinos, Hispanics obviously need to be represented more. And we look forward to that alongside of representing many other vulnerable communities and communities of interest that I happen to represent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't say enough about her. She's passed on and she's gone on, but we're still fighting the same fight. That's the reason why I say y'all need a reminder. And this is just going to be a month. You don't have to hear it from me. Hear it from people that normal people, everyday people that's out there making a living. I had a neighbor of mine that I did an interview with. I never got an opportunity to show it, but I just want to let you, Tyrone and Dee and anybody out there listen, I just want to let you know what normal everyday people thinking about while you up there talking about what's not. Anyway, I'm going to leave that alone, but I want you to hear this.
We hear last night, that we are all of a sudden in a war. You remember when the Desert Storm came out of nowhere like that? It was, and for years, we were in there for years.
For real.
So, and all the things that happened, 9/11 and all that stuff, all that was tied up in there. You think we're going to not be retaliated against?
No, I think that the retaliation is coming, but here's what I think, Roland, more so than the retaliation, is that we shouldn't have been in the war in the first place.
Sure.
And if you go back in history, and the first time that you see it actually happened during Reagan era.
Yeah.
If you think about it, when they had them Iran hostages, Reagan told them not to release the hostages till Carter was out of office.
Yeah.
And we forget about history.
Oh, no. I was talking with one of the lifeguards. Those who forget history are doomed to repeat it.
Absolutely.
And we have a tendency, we hide stuff, tell them they can't read about this time period, can't read about slavery, can't do this, it's that they want us to forget.
Yeah.
All the different things that have occurred.
Yeah.
And I can. I wish I could.
We can't forget, but most of the young people, they can't identify with what's going on in the world today because they wasn't alive.
Well, again,
Yeah.
Google it. I tell them all the time.
Yeah, they got so many tools.
Just
Wow.
Google this and this and this and that. Because I was just telling this person here, when I was young, they didn't believe in strength training. Coaches would tell you all it did make you muscle bound, and I knew better.
And tell them how long you've been a coach.
I was 32 years since I started in 1976.
And that's important because you get a background from where a person came from, and then when they talk to you, you can understand. And that's what I need. That's what I need for the audience to understand.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. I was willing to work to find that information, and it changed me. I was 12, 13 years old, and I was reading about what I needed to do to get stronger. And by the time I finished, I was at All-City running back. And
Wait a minute. I got to get some clarification here because he didn't start in Texas.
No, New York. I was all New York City.
You heard that, didn't you?
And again, I had to choose between Penn State and Rice when I made my decision. And Penn State would have won, but they told me that they wanted to wait another week. You know, they had 2 scholarships and they were interested in 3 people, and I was the 3rd person. You didn't have to be a rocket science to say I was the 3rd person.
Yeah.
You remember Joe Paterno and
Yeah.
Yeah. I talked with them, and they told me to wait, and I signed with Rice, and the best thing I ever did.
See what I'm saying? We're gonna have a Rice story later on in this. I'm gonna sit them down, and we just gonna have a story, and I guarantee you're gonna be amazed. I just happened to show up at the pool today and saw one of my neighbors out here that I've been knowing since I was since my son was in school.
Wait, since Rex was a pup.
Yeah, Rex was a pup. I'm gonna end it right there.
All right.
I just want to tell y'all that this guy came from New York City with
Motion detected
and maybe
in the
y'all
front
don't know
yard.
how prestigious of a university that Rice is, but he came from New York City with a scholarship to play football. He came from New York City with a scholarship to play football. And he still recognizes at the time I did this interview, we were supposed to be going to war with somebody. And I just happened to see him. But everyday citizens have a voice. Everyday citizens have an opinion that you guys are missing. Y'all got to realize that you're not just talking to one another. You're talking to everyday people out there. This is the people that you need to relate to. I sometimes I just can't follow it. But I'm trying to. Trust me, I am. I'm gonna add this next thing to the stage and got to get it removed. I got to remove something to add something. So I'm adding this to the stage. We done went through. I'm just giving you topics that you can talk about, that you can legitimately hold a conversation about instead of attacking each other. Immigrants, 100 billion in taxes. They pay in. That's a lie. Immigrants don't pay taxes. That's something else that you can pick up on. And you out here attacking each other like you don't. It's nothing else out there to talk about. This is still on the table. This is still on the table. I'm just going through stuff because I need you to realize that attacking each other is not doing any good. You got the stage. You got everything
Motion
that you
detected
need.
in the front yard.
Don't get to play by the same rules as men.
That was Chris Como. Chris Como. I don't. In this thing, it's so important that we get the message that I'm trying to put out. That we'll take anybody's comment, and I'll say that again and again and again and again as long as I'm still up here. But we need to know where our battles are coming from. What type of people?
Don't get to play by the same rules as men.
I know I messed that up, and I know I was doing good up until that point. So y'all stick with me. Please don't give up on me because I had all this stuff loaded up, and I can't load up everything at one time. But I just want to put this up here because this is a lady, and I know she was from Tarrant County.
I represent the precinct that you are currently meeting in. This is my precinct. Welcome to ground zero of redistricting. Tarrant County, Texas, home of the Tea Party and MAGA Republicans, Paga Republican County Judge,
Yes, I
DA,
take it.
Sheriff, all of them. I am here to urge the members of the Texas legislature to say no to racism and the racially discriminatory redraw of congressional maps. What you've done is planned and calculated a racist attack on the fundamental voting rights.
Malcolm Martin Mandela and all of.
Let me just say, I'm trying to add this stuff to the stage, and I got a lot that I want to add because I didn't want to have that much commentary. I hope y'all just bear with me so I can just show you how much it is out there to talk about.
Of color.
I didn't mean to take away from it.
I should know. MAGA County Judge Tim O'Hare used a racist law firm and a racist map drawer to attack, pack, and crack African American and Hispanic neighborhoods here, just like you are trying to do to our congressional maps. With the mid-decade redistricting of Tarrant County Commissioners' precincts, the Republicans came for me and my seat just last month. On June 3rd, my constituents lost their representation due to intentional racial gerrymanders.
And see, that's what I was telling you about. There's so much on the table that we can fight other than fighting among each other. This is gerrymandering. This was in Texas, but just think about it. All over the United States, they're trying to do the same thing. And y'all pick each other to tag team against. Come on, let's grow up. Let's do better.
MAGA politics. And what happened when my colleagues voted to redistrict? When they voted to go after my precinct 2 seat? A damn lawsuit. So hopefully you all are prepared for that. They redrew our lines not because the population shifted, not because our communities changed, but because they wanted to silence our voices. Like you, Texas legislative Republicans, my MAGA colleagues wanted more power than they already have. Tarrant County has been in existence since 1849 and has always been Republican-led. What more do you want?
I'm halfway through the hour. I think that you get the point. We played her once before, but I want to just continue to play stuff that kind of reminds the people that's using social media out there that it's fights out there that you can take on. You don't have to fight each other. And if I'm wrong, tell me. Get in the comments and tell me the reason why I'm wrong. But if you're fighting among each other, your message is so split and sent so many different ways that by the time it's over, we're gonna be so divided that we can't even worry about the midterms. Because that's what they did. They just did that to us. If you just think about it, those 8 Democrats that seceded and voted against against their best interests, they just did it to us. We need to pick a fight, and we need to stick with it. There's too much going on.
Would have just gave up. Where would we be right now? And I understand exactly what it is that she's saying, and what she's saying is truth. But outside of that, you can't get tired. You can't give up. You can't give in, because this fight that we have is until we take the last breath. The reason why I can't and I refuse to give up is because I got 2 daughters, and I'll be damned if my 2 daughters' life will end up being worse than mine was. Mine was a little bit better than my mother, but I've always promised her, I can't afford to go through what you went through.
And Glass is right. His daughters meant a lot to him, and that's what we got.
Age to 67. Means test Social Security. John Morgan, you don't get fucking dick when you retire. Here, America's fixed. The budget's balanced. We got a surplus instead of a deficit. But we can't do it because of politics.
See, we don't. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are, how you go about accomplishing whatever you're trying to accomplish. It's too much out there to be talking about, rather than bickering among each other on both sides of the aisle. And I keep saying that 90 million, but think about it. If they hear you out there and what you're portraying so far is, you know, he's wrong, he's right, his timing was off. It happened on this day. It didn't happen on that day. It happened at this time. You know, that 90 million, how many of them do you think that you're going to change and bring them into the voters' roll during the midterm elections? What the Republicans are saying is they saying we don't have to fight the Democrats. They're going to destroy themselves. And that's true. That's true. Just based on what you're seeing. Listen. Just I'm gonna keep adding it. I'm gonna keep bringing them to the table.
Support. One was standing up to Donald Trump. The other was getting some resolution on the ACA premium tax credit issue. The problem was the shutdown wasn't accomplishing either goals, and there was there was zero likelihood that it was going to. In terms of standing up to Donald Trump, the shutdown actually gave him more power. Exhibit A being what he's done with SNAP and SNAP benefits across the country. Oh, by the way, Joe, you're going to love this. Guess who's getting paid during the shutdown? Not the park rangers or air traffic controllers. The ICE agents. Under special law, under that big, awful bill that they passed last summer, the ICE agents are being paid. Nobody else is. So standing up to Donald Trump didn't work. It actually gave him more power. And then secondly, and I've been a big supporter of the ACA, the idea of forcing the Republican.
But I just I have to share this stuff because somewhere, somehow, somebody is telling you that there's not enough information out there to talk about. And then you get on each other. Go out there and find your own subject, find your own map, your where you're going and how you're trying to accomplish your goals, and go out there and do it. Give some information that's gonna make a difference in somebody's life. Don't hide behind I call it hiding behind your titles. You're scared that somebody's going to put out more information. You're scared that somebody's going to take over your platform. You're scared that they got more numbers than you do. It ain't about the numbers right now. It's about getting the information out there so we can get ready for these upcoming midterms. And those midterms are so important at this time that as we go, we're still moving forward. We're going to still have people like on Urban View and everywhere else. We're going to have blunders, but we don't have to step on each other. To show us how give us the light, so to speak. Show us the light. Show us the direction in which we should be going. You don't have to step on one another to do all of that. And it's making everybody look bad. Because here you are arguing among each other about something that ain't making a hill of beans. What about getting these people to out to vote? I saw this. Having a good time. But when we get there, how many registered voters are in there? Can we get those people that are having that good time? Can we get them to the polling place? How can we go to events like this and get them to the polling place? That's the kind of questions that we have to ask ourselves, hard questions, not those easy questions that continue to come up. I shared that with Pastor Riggins, and Byron Glass, but I want to share it with you because I don't know where we're going as a country if we can't get the basics.
Maybe we're the only ones that really have the courage to do it. I think we need to go in on the next show and spend the full hour and a half explaining to people that the 1948 existence and the creation of Israel has absolutely nothing to do with the Israel that God is speaking of and about. I think there's been so many people that have been misinformed, and it's sickening to me to sit and listen to people believe that this is actually the place and the people that the Creator was speaking to and speaking of. Has absolutely nothing to do with that. Just
That's a perfect example of stuff that's still out there on the table, that it's a war still going on. And we're sitting around here fussing with each other. We're sitting around here fussing with each other about nothing, about platforms and who said it first and who didn't say it, who got the timing right. We're lost.
I support. One was standing up to Donald Trump.
I apologize. I'm just trying to get this stuff out here because I really don't want to spend a whole bunch of time, but I need to know that we're touching bases, that we're reaching out.
Pastor Brian got his problems. He was saying that the Target couldn't do that to church either. Give them money and try to buy them.
But first, you got to clean up your own household, Pastor.
I
don't get the ministry because here's the reason why. Because every last one of them that get a large organization, they want to clean up everybody else's mess, but they don't want to clean up their mess within the church. You know where he's preaching at right now in Atlanta? Mm-hmm. Alphabet Community. And the pastor, before I even got on here, I heard another pastor calling him out. Say, you don't call out injustices about what Donald Trump doing, but you ain't calling out the injustices of half your membership in your church. That was true. You know, I have to admit. But here's the same guy that we're talking about. Here's the same guy. I'm going to see where it's at. I got it. I'm going to bring it to the stage. Here's the same guy. Listen.
It's just in classism. Who I tried to hide Jesus in elitism, and something has got to break. You mean ain't none of them evangelicals gonna say nothing about us bombing 3 different bases that had nothing to do with us? You mean nobody is gonna say nothing about us spending $47 million for a parade that nobody showed up to? Ain't nobody gonna say nothing about how the Trump family's net worth has gone up by $5 billion in the last 6 months. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing about him lying about the airplane that ain't even for the U.S. government, but is for his own family method. I declare unto you today, I'm a free black man, and before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Somebody gotta say something.
Amen. See what I'm telling you? We ain't that far off. But you got enough on the table that you can talk about. You got enough on the table that you can make a difference if you just take your time.
You ride down an old country road and you see a cotton field. Mm-hmm. And you look at how long that row of cotton, that row is. And then you started realizing that when they was picking cotton, A.F. Riggins, they couldn't get a drink of water until they made it to the end of that row.
Yes,
Hot as it is, and we driving around in a luxury vehicle with air conditioning on, and we sitting here complaining. Hey, bro, I don't know what motivates other people, but what I can tell you this, what I can tell you is this: I don't need nobody to help me walk off the cliff. I can do that on my own. I need somebody to help me turn around. And helping me turn around is this. Hey, let's join hands. And like they say, sing that old Negro song, but we ain't talking about singing a song by hymns in preparation. We're talking about getting together and motivating people and electrifying people and getting them to understand that no matter what you don't know about your ancestors, hey, what we telling you is real. And what we telling you is this, is that when they put them shackles on your feet and your brain, and you can't think for yourself, if that can't motivate you yourself, that God gave you a brain and you can't use it yourself, somebody else got to tell you how to use it. Well, at the end of the day, Pastor, I'm leaving them behind. I'm pressing on toward the mark, striving for perfection. I'm trying to get those who want to get on the locomotive train with me and move forward. We got to knock these walls down. And if we don't get out and vote in 2026.
You heard Byron Glass say what was on his mind. He said it and he meant it. It's a lot of stuff.
Well, Ron, I think you remember we don't mince words. We try to inform and enlighten. And I think you can preface what you're trying to say, that you're not trying to inflict any harm on anybody, but I mean the truth. That's just what we do. So I'm gonna allow you to express it. If not, then we'll kind of move on.
Well, let me just go ahead and say it, Glass. I'm glad you gave me permission. I needed that permission because that child didn't ask to be born.
Right.
That child didn't ask to be born. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell you like I tell my own kids. When you in there moaning and groaning and all the rest of that, child didn't ask to be born. You made the decision, your actions made the decision that child was here. Mm-hmm. Help that child go somewhere.
Yeah.
Help.
That's all we're asking, Ron.
Absolutely.
And I think you qualified it better. You said investment, and that's what we're doing today, asking you to put a little, deposit a little investment.
Absolutely. And that's what it's so much out there that we can go to. And I'm sorry about my telephone ringing in the background. I just want to get this out here. A couple of things that I didn't put out there, but one last thing, it's kind of humorous, but just think about it. This is how I feel the Democratic Party. This is where I think the Democratic Party is at.
Step.
The fuck is that? Shit! I'm dying in this fucking country ass fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. The fuck? I can't see pollen. And let's get the fuck out this country, motherfucker. I can't even see me.
Somebody would ask me why would I add that? Because that's the way I feel about where we're at as a Democrat. You know, we're quick to respond. We're quick to tear each other down. It doesn't matter. This guy was doing a report in the field, and he was in Georgia somewhere, from what I understand. He's here in Houston, but he responded to that situation like he did, and everybody thought it was funny. Well, that's what we're doing to each other. I'm trying to show you. That's what we're doing to each other, and we just don't see it. We reacting just like he did when we out there, when we attacking one another. That's how we look. That's how we look. And I'm gonna do this one more. I think I got one more that's out here, and I want to see if it's. I want to tell you. I'm gonna share something with you.
For the question, you asked me if you could make an announcement first, and I asked you for permission to make an announcement myself.
Would the sound man please turn Mr. Reagan's mic off?
Let me tell you how people do when they actually own something. See, Pastor Riggins brought this up to my attention a while when we was doing the show, and I had to go back and find it. But I want you to listen what Ronald Reagan tells those people when he gets to the end of his statement. I want you to just listen to what he says and tell me if it don't make a difference, if it don't tie into what we're talking about now.
Is this on? Mr. Green,
Could you turn that microphone
you
off,
asked for me if you would... I am paying for this microphone, Mr. Green.
In case you didn't get it, Ronald Reagan was doing an interview, and he was asked a question, and he didn't get a chance to ask it. They were trying to make little of what he was saying, but what he did was he told them. He said, you know what? I paid for this session. So in other words, it don't matter what you say on that stage. It doesn't matter what's going on. We haven't got to that point yet, but when we get there, we have these little social media platforms, including mine, that we're trying to inform and engage with people, give people a chance to have a voice. Maybe I may not be at the level that you're at, but I remember when you was at my level and I was still doing the same thing that you were, and you were trying to get to the level where you're at. I remember when you was using other people on other shows to get to where you're at. See, it's a different time. It's a different time out here, because when people are celebrities and they come on, you concerned about what they're saying. But when somebody's bringing the truth and trying to share information with you, that's trying to tell you on a level that majority of the people that's listening to you, that will never play sports, that will never probably be a commentator on the air, that's got the number one show out there, they're the ones that's listening to you. They're the ones that's building up part of your audience that's out there. It's less of them athletes and everybody else. It's normal, everyday people that's trying to survive, that's listening to you guys on a major platform, that's raising you up on a daily basis, and you taking them, you basically going among each other and fighting. Help me understand, because maybe I'm just lost. I'm at a total loss. I'm in a total different world. than everybody else. We've been doing this for a while. I know Glass been doing it. I know Pastor Riggins been doing it. I know other people that we had on the air. I was making a joke with Tawana Arcadian not too long ago on Facebook. She's from Texas. She's part of Prairie View University. And she goes all the way to Ghana to get on a horse in Ghana and ride a horse. But she's from Texas and she graduated from Prairie View. So I was ribbing her a little bit. I said, yeah, I'm going to share it with you. The point that I'm trying to make is that we're stretching ourselves too thin. It's too close. The race is at the end. And I'm asking you just to tie it all together and come together and have a conversation. Maybe not on social media. Maybe not on any other platform that's out there, but call each other. I heard you too many times say, oh, I got your number. Or you're asking for something from the other person. Or the other person can offer you a way to build yourself up. The only thing I'm asking you to do is a little old media content creator that's out here that's trying to grow. I'm just asking you to basically call each other. Don't bring it out here on these airways because it's dividing us. Our message is not being delivered. It's not going across the waves that we want it to go across. And I want to say that, and I'm going to do this because I want to end it. I really didn't want to stay on here that long. I wanted to keep it short. D and everybody else that's out there listening to me, and everybody that came in the comment, I hope I didn't lose you. But it was a point that I was trying to make, and I think I made. So when you make your point, it's time to get off this. Time to get off. It's time to turn off that mic. But I want to say this. We do this on Tuesdays, and I want to invite you out to our Tuesday show. Please come out, and it's on the 18th. Please come out, and if you want to participate, if you want to come in, if you want to make comments, we'll open up the lines for telephone calls. Join us on our next show on November the 18th. We look forward to any person out there. They get a voice. You will get a voice, and we will open up the lines and let you call in. So, with that being said, I want to do it like Pastor Riggins. I'm not as good as Pastor Riggins, but I want to do it because I believe that we need prayer. We need prayer. So as I close my eyes today, I want to say thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for everything that you're doing in my life. Everybody else that's out there participating in these airways. Father, give them a voice. Give them a reason to be on the air. Let them know that they don't have to put down one another. Let them know that they should be uplifting. As a people, we should grow. Skin color, I ain't going to say it. We know that skin color is going to make a difference, Father. But in your eyes, I don't think it makes a difference at all. So with that being said, Father, I want to pray. I want to pray for everybody that's out there. I want to pray that everybody continues to grow. And Father, in your name, I'm going to say amen, amen, and amen. You know, I always close the show. I used to always close it out with thank God, thank God, thank God. And I just did it. So I don't have glass out there throwing me the deuces. I don't have Pastor Riggins pulling off no tie, telling me, Ron, it's time to go. So I'm going to end it on my own time. I want to tell you, thank you for participating. I hope I didn't lose you, but it's too much of a fight out there. It's too much of a fight out there for us not to be saying anything about what's going on. And for the ones that got a higher platform than me, those producers that's out there, talk to your people. Talk to your people and tell them they don't have to do that on the air. Tell them they don't have to do it on the air. Good night, everybody. Enjoy yourself. Bye-bye.